Welcome to another episode of Recode Your Destiny. I'm your host and producer, Victor Escalante. The show that talks about change, permanent change that will, for certain, alter your destiny in life. I am excited to have on the show today, Matt Russell. Matt Russell is a very fascinating individual, and he has a very storied past, and just a fascinating individual because of his curiosity to always be learning new things related about the mind. Matt, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Victor. I appreciate being here.
Matt, tell us a little bit about you and where you're from.
Well, I was raised in Tomball, so,
Local Southern boy.
right, born in California, though.
Okay.
So, but yeah, became a Texan. I think I was raised probably a little lower middle class. So, typical, kind of always hurting for money. Parents worked hard, but, we were always in lack. And thinking in my mind all the time, like, man, there's got to be a better way. I mean, good things can't be just for other people, right?
Did you ever imagine yourself to be where you are today?
No, I didn't imagine myself being where I am now a year ago. So much less then.
So you got interested in processes of the brain, and you've been on this quest for many years, trying to understand how your mind works and trying to heal some of your past. So talk to me, what got you curious about the mind?
I tell you what, growing up religious, it just didn't hit for me. So I always thought that there was something more out there or something, better. You would read in the Bible about miracles, or you would read about all of these mystical types of things that didn't happen in our time. And I'm like, why is it then, but not now? Well, I just kind of went through a phase where I just threw it all out because nothing seemed to fit for me. But in a lull one day, I'd moved to San Diego, and I turned the TV on, and a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know came on. It was about quantum physics.
I remember that.
Yeah, so here I am.
Listeners, you can still find that movie on YouTube. It's out there. Highly recommend that you watch it because it goes into how subjective reality is not reality itself. It's how we represent it.
Yeah, think of it as like maybe the Matrix.
Yes.
Along those lines, but like back with some science. And that's what I was actually looking for, because let's face it, a lot of times we're taught, and I don't want to offend or anything like that, but a lot of times the dogmatic and the science, they argue when they shouldn't. They should just be, they should form together really well. This kind of did that for me. So I just watched this and like, what is going on? And here I am in my atheist phase, and I'm like, it just hit. And then a friend of mine, I was telling her about it. She goes, oh, you need to come over here and watch this DVD I just got. And I was like, well, what is it? She goes, it's called The Secret.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. Now, I liked a lot of it. Some of it I thought was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
But what it did do for me was there was a switch in my head going, wait a minute, though. I started taking inventory of my thoughts. And so when people go, oh, you just think positive, good things are going to happen to you. Oh, that's stupid. And you're like, well, think of it the opposite. If you have a negative mindset and a poor attitude, which we've been lectured about since we were children, what type of results do you get from that?
Right.
Not the most positive. I mean, every now and again, luck may happen, but you think of it in that way. And so that just started me on this whole path to like, wait a minute. It was hope for me, honestly.
Okay. What came after that? After the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? What came after that?
Well, I started learning about meditation.
Okay.
So I went online and I found this transcendental meditation place out in, where was it? It was in Encinitas, California. So beautiful suburb of San Diego. It's like God's country.
Okay.
So I studied meditation. They were willing to give me a scholarship. It's kind of expensive to learn. And my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she went with me. And I was like, we need some type of calming mechanism because there was just nothing.
Right.
So I started doing that and I practiced TM for about 2 years. I still meditate, but I do different forms of it now. But I mean, you want to talk about this whole
You were shifting. You were
subconsciously.
yeah, you were shifting I wanna connect the dots for our listeners of how you got to where you are today. So what came after TM? Practicing and learning TM, what came after that?
Well, it had me calm, and then from there, we moved back to Houston. So we lived out here about 10 years, and my anxiety was back up to a level. It was, man, I was always operating under anxiety. It was awful. And I heard about hypnosis and psychotherapy through, I believe it or not, Howard Stern was a big
Okay.
advocate of it. And at the time, I mean, he was still in his heyday. I really enjoyed what he had to say. And then I hear Mike Tyson was talking about psychedelics, things like that. And I talked to one of my friends, and she goes, I actually see a hypnotist for anxiety. And I'm like, okay, well, I was so over it. I was 43 years old at this time. And I'm like, if I don't do something about this, I'm going to do something about it because it's
Yeah.
just getting unbearable.
Right.
Call him up. He tells me he can fix me. This man is in his 70s. And man, oh man, you want to talk about changes that started happening like immediately through hypnotherapy, cognitive,
Behavioral
behavioral,
therapy. Uh-huh.
and pretty much explaining to me that the solutions to my problems are simple. However, simple doesn't mean easy, but that's how you can change your paradigm. So everybody has this preconceived notion, if you're not familiar with hypnosis, of the guy in the 20s waving a medallion, you're getting very sleepy.
Right.
It's nothing like that at all. Matter of fact, it is no different than guided meditation,
Exactly.
in my opinion.
Or prayer. Okay. Prayer is another form of self-induced trance. Again, I'm a certified clinical hypnotist. People live in a state of trance. You get people driving down the road and they're in a hypnotic trance because of the overstimulation of the road to where you can go from point A to point B and you don't even remember how you got there. You don't even, it's like your mind is on autopilot. And of course, you're paying attention to the bare minimum of red lights, green lights, of cars coming, trying to navigate the road. But again, most people drive in a state of trance. That's why it is not recommended if you're in a state of rage that you don't get behind the wheel because you're going to miss a lot of the signals and you're going to have an accident because you're a rage hypnotic trance that you're living in when you get behind the wheel.
I totally agree with you. And when you're talking about respects of maybe even whether it is like the law of attraction or you're talking about hypnosis, people don't realize they're doing it already.
Yes.
They just, they don't have a, it's not streamlined or refined. It's like on autopilot for you.
Right.
So, I become more aware of the way I think and everything, which
Yeah.
is very important because then you can start working on your personal empowerment as far as how I'm thinking, what is going on, as opposed to just leaving. We never really are taught
Sure.
how to work with our thoughts at all. As a matter of fact, I think they downplay it a lot.
I tell people you didn't come with owner's manual for your brain.
No, no, they just, your 2 feet hit the ground, they say you're 18, go. And there's no telling you know, what's happened to you in your childhood, how you were raised, where those insecurities are or what have you, and how those can really affect and really dictate your future, how you perceive things, how you're going to work with authority or how you process these types of issues, and they just turn you loose and don't give you any, everybody's trying to do the best they can, let's face it, but
Right.
no one's perfect. So sometimes there's damage been done or anything and you get triggered. That's a big buzzword now. I'm triggered. It just simply means this. It's simply hypnosis because it's a certain word, image, feeling, or thought.
Yeah.
And then it does this dialogue for you and you're in whatever trance that is.
Yeah. It's a stimulus response. So kind of like Pavlovian's dog, that he would ring a bell and the dog would salivate because he had made the association of being hungry because he knew he was going to get fed meat with the ringing of the bell. And so that's the way the nervous system, if it works on a dog, the human nervous system is many, many times more sophisticated than dog's brain. And that's how we respond to everyday reality is we are triggered. We have that stimulus, we have the automatic response.
Well, and the more I watch, and I've done a lot of deep diving, YouTube videos. I don't listen to a lot of philosophy as much as I do listen to thought thinkers. One of the things that people don't realize is this, and it's not a conspiracy, it's just truth, is the fact that this is being done to us intentionally, whether it's positive or negative, regardless. That's how they
I worked in media, so advertising is very, very intentional
Mhm.
way of programming your mind, programming your senses to respond to the stimulus through advertising.
So this is where I just was always fascinated by the mind and everything. Even I never went to college or anything like that, but I didn't want to, if I were to, I wouldn't want to be a psychologist, for example, or a psychiatrist, because I would like my mind to be even further branched out
Yes.
than that. And when I was doing my hypnotherapy, I was taking to it really, really well. And my Dr. or it's Edward Wilson. I call him Doc because Doc's fix people, and he does have a doctorate in religion, but he goes by Edward Wilson. I always want to make sure I was very careful so that
Yeah.
we don't do that. But he asked me about year two. He goes, "Have you ever thought about hypnosis or doing what I'm doing?" And I didn't really feel the self-worth at the time. I'd be like, well, I'm still damaged goods, man. So I don't know that I don't want to come from a hypocritical stance. And I definitely want to be like some sort of charlatan, if
Right.
you will, right?
Right. Sure.
Because that's just a violation of people's trust.
Right.
And my goal would be, if I do it, I want to help, and credibility matters in this essence because you want to be authentic when
Right.
you're. How can I wash somebody's hands when mine are dirty, kind of thing,
Right.
But through more therapy, I got to a point where I had the confidence. I think, you know what, I think I may want to do something like that. And so on the side, I transitioned from bartending and I went into the corporate world. I had a regional supervisor job. I mean, I couldn't believe I got the job. It was a wonder. Don't talk about the law of attraction. It was a really cool thing. And I was actually using the therapy that had been used on me to work with my team,
Sure.
and we were getting wonderful results. I mean, we were doing really well, you know.
You're listening to Recode Your Destiny. Stay tuned for this important message from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
What if 2026 was the year you stopped managing behavior and started rewiring identity? Introducing the 2026 NLP Practitioner Certification Training. This is not theory. This is not motivation. This is neuro-linguistic programming at the level of mastery. In this immersive certification, you'll learn how to repattern limiting beliefs at the root, clear emotional triggers with precision, shift identity using proven neurological frameworks, influence communication ethically and powerfully, rewire your nervous system for decisive leadership. Whether you're a coach, founder, executive, therapist, or high-level entrepreneur, this training equips you with the tools to create lasting transformation in yourself and others. For decades, these tools have shaped elite performers. Now it's your turn to embody them. If you're ready to stop coping and start coding the future of your mind, join us for the 2026 NLP Practitioner Certification. Reprogram your mind. Recode your destiny. To reserve your seat, contact Victor Escalante at 713-992-8279 or email victor@victorescalante.com. Seats are limited. Apply now.
Welcome back to Recode Your Destiny. I'm your host, Victor Escalante. One of my trainers, Laura Ewing, she was a corporate trainer, and she told us in class that she was paid like a small fortune by Citicorp because she was brought into their call center for inbound calls, customer service calls, and she taught them basic NLP, rapport skills to deal with the customers request that they needed or to help them solve a problem, and then to upsell them some other service. Okay. They made millions and millions of dollars in upsales as a result of using rapport to establish that trust, to establish that micro bond with the client in order to influence them to buy some additional service. Okay.
Well, and to layman, I always like to do this because when I worked in insurance, everything's spoken in acronyms, right? And you just kind of have to pretend you know what the heck you're talking about.
Right.
Well, when we're talking about NLP, right? It's neuro linguistic programming,
Yes.
and the reason why, because I may have some friends listen to this or what have you, and neuro linguistic programming is just influential language. It's a wonderful thing, and I was glad we were transitioning over to that because my therapist sometimes wouldn't put me in a hypnosis.
Right.
He was like, "I just talked to you all session. You don't realize I was using NLP."
Sure.
I just found the conversations fascinating, did go down the rabbit hole on it. And that's when, after I got laid off, I got laid off last year, I had a very calm feeling about it. I was okay. I didn't go online and say anything. I was just in my mind, I think God has something bigger for me. And I did some side projects. You can look those up online. There's a lot of nonsense there, but it hit me. I was trying to get back into the corporate world again, and I don't have a degree, and you get stonewalled. There is definitely a glass ceiling there, and I don't have any animosity. I can't say I blame them. Look, I mean, I get these roles are important, and they don't want to take a gamble. They like to stay inside this shoebox, if you
Right.
will, and there's no outside the box thinking, even though sometimes they say they encourage it. And this one lady was really kind. She said, "You should apply for a role as a change agent." And this was a couple weeks ago. And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? That's where you actually you work with salespeople and you kind of coach them, get them out of their head if they're in a funk or whatever,
Right.
mental blocks." And so I didn't get the role, but I wasn't disappointed because, one thing you learn is there's gold in everything, especially failure. There's a lot of gold there. Why don't I just do this myself? You know what? I have and I've already gotten a lot of really nice endorsements from people in the NLP world, especially from Edward Wilson. So that made a lot to me. So then I just went on like Chat GPT and I was like, you know what? I'd studied a little bit of neuro-linguistic programming with my therapist, but he's really busy. So I'm like, let me go see if I can find somebody in Houston. And then voila, I reached out to you, Victor, last week, and we had such a wonderful conversation. That was actually this week. We had such a wonderful conversation, and here we are today talking. So, um, I tell you,
So through ChatGPT, you found me.
hey, AI, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear in everything in the world. And I think that's where NLP and therapies like hypnosis and them can really help you because you break away from that matrix, if you will. Not that it's not real or what, you just don't have to react to it. That's there for a reason, and it's just noise. And so one of the fears is I say that is because of AI, but I'm like, you can use AI to your advantage or your benefit.
Absolutely. I'm an early adopter, so I rely on it quite a bit. When it's gone down and I'm working on different projects, it's like I go crazy because I got a workflow that I've got people waiting on me to supply content. And so we become totally reliant on AI. Those of us that use it every day.
Well, yeah, and I'm one of them too. I mean, I use it for lots of things. I actually like work with it almost like a co-partnership,
Sure.
if you will, because I don't just sit there and say something and it gives me information. I'm too inquisitive by nature.
I'm gonna give you an illustration that kind of illustrates the optimum mindset. Our mind is like AI, and when it doesn't work at its optimum, it's because we have issues, we have emotional blocks, we have Trojan horses from our past that are corrupted belief systems. When we were betrayed, when something that we dearly believed in turned out to be false, and so we have a mindset that needs fragmenting so that you can fill in all those holes. And when your mind is working at its optimum state, it's like you get the answers like quick. It's like, just like AI. It's like your brain is wired that way. It's just that we don't know how to use it.
Well, and you're thinking in terms of productivity, right?
Sure,
Because I mean,
sure.
how much time do we spend with anxiety? Like, I can't format this email, or I need to send this text. This is what I'm trying to say, but you could say it to the AI and it will put it together. Now, I always try to make sure no dashes, please, because it's a dead giveaway. When you start reading these emails with dashes, you're like, they used AI.
Exactly.
But again, think of, we should even look at AI. So if you want to do NLP trick really quickly here, we could just discuss. People don't realize that NLP, they've all experienced it. Now, the greatest example I can always give, right, is when you reframe is like a change of perception.
Yes.
Glass half full, half empty.
Sure.
That is exactly what, in its simplest form,
Yeah.
broken down, what NLP is an aspect of it, right? If you look at that glass and you decide it's not half empty, it's half full, the paradigm shift in your mind changes from lack to abundance.
Sure.
Well, you've just totally changed your energy and your thought
Yes.
processes and what you're looking for at that point.
Just like I was explaining to you that the internal state that you're in will determine the meaning that you give to any situation that you come across in life.
Correct.
Good or bad, neutral, your internal state is going to be that crystal that filter through which you give meaning to anything. And so again, the mind is capable of giving unlimited ways of perception, of perceiving the meaning behind anything. And most people don't even realize that they're on autopilot.
Right.
And so they only give it one meaning, the only meaning that they're accustomed to giving to any situation or person.
Well, I think, as we're discussing this and you bring that part up where you're just in your own head all day long, one of the gifts of NLP and how it can help, or even it brings you into the now.
Yes.
So that you're here, you're present,
It's mindfulness, being present. Yes.
especially with how fast time is going now.
Totally.
Because
Totally.
where 10 years ago, you're like, I don't even know where I was.
You blink and there goes the year's over.
Correct. It really has. Look, we're already almost in March of this year.
Yeah.
And so, I think one of the ways that, because I hear everybody talking about this, like we're in some sort of matrix where we're like in this time warp right now. I think because, we always talk about problems, we never talk about solutions, but I think the solution to this could possibly be, it's not a panacea, but it's like, let's work on things to make us clear and make us more present in today so that we're not thinking 2 weeks ahead.
Yes.
We're thinking about how we're just happy to be here now.
Yes.
And be more present. It's the greatest gift you could ever give yourself or the people around you, is just to be present. It's something that I had struggled with. I still do, but I've gotten so much better at it that let's just think about today, like tomorrow's not even promised.
Yeah.
So why are we putting all our money in
Exactly.
So I that's kind of how I'm looking at this process that I've been in, and as I continue to grow.
So listeners, I introduce Matt Russell, who is going to be my sales trainer starting out, teaching NLP, because he's already well versed in the mechanics of NLP, and he's used it all his life in the different positions that he held in corporate America. And so what he's going to be is a co-facilitator with me to teach the art of the sale using NLP and hypnosis, because the sales process is very hypnotic. When you make a presentation, if you're not very dynamic, if you're not very persuasive in the way you present, you're doing a lousy trance, and people are bored, or people are thinking of something else as opposed to paying attention to you.
Well, and that's the key part of what NLP is too. It doesn't make you not only a great speaker, but a great listener.
Yes.
Because what it allows you to do is pacing and leading is such a wonderful example of, because there's how many different types of NLP techniques do you think there are?
There's many. There's many, okay? I even had one client that came to me. She had 3 freaking master's certifications. She didn't know what tool to use with a client. She came to me and hired me to say, okay, with this client, you use this technique, and this is how you do it. You already know the technique, but this is the nuance of the technique.
Yeah, it really is. It's listening again. And you talk about those paradigm shifts. When you're in sales, for instance, I tried to tell somebody this the other day. They're like, how would you overcome objections? I said, well, one, I would change my language. One, it's not an objection.
Yeah.
It is information that somebody's giving you. What you want to hear, listen to them, because they're telling you
Absolutely.
inadvertently, they're showing you their cards,
Yes.
right? Well, I don't want it because of this and this and this. You're like, oh, okay, well, here's the solution.
Yeah.
What if we did,
Yeah.
and so from what I understand, and it's just a fun journey that I'm going to be on. And journey is an overused term, but I think it's applicable to what we're doing here, Victor, together. And I have so much to learn, and I'm just really, really excited. And that's where I'm telling everybody, like, look, man, for what it's worth, take it from me. I've gotten turned down more than a bad AM radio when it comes to to job interviews and everything. Don't give up. Start asking the good questions, asking yourself, like, really sit down and go, what do I like? What you will be shocked at what comes from just a pencil and a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
You have no idea.
Absolutely.
So
That's deep thinking, by the way. Whenever you sit down and you ask questions and you journal the answers.
right.
Really.
And if you do practice some sort of faith, pray on it. Really pray on it,
Yeah.
think on it, and ask for the right answers to come to you. And then get your mind quiet, because it's not going to say do this. You're just going to get this idea one day, or a feeling like, oh, call this person, or I didn't even think to do that. Or you'll read an ad and it's like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
So anyhow, I could talk about this for hours, and we don't have that today, but I just can't thank you enough for having me on your show.
I'm excited to work with you and to teach you advanced NLP skills.
Whoa, the world better get ready.
Yeah. Well, look out. Here's Matt Russell.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, folks. We're going to have to leave it there. Stay tuned for exciting news about how Matt is incorporated into the team that I'm forming. If you would like to know more information about NLP, of course, reach out to us or Hypnosis. And if you're interested in learning NLP, by all means, contact us, because we have all kinds of classes coming up. Until next time, go out and have a great week, my friends. So long.